Good morning. How's everybody today? Oh my goodness. Busy day coming. I think that my pace needs to slow down just a little bit. It was not very busy at all, and then it was busy, and then it wasn't very busy at all, and then it was, oh my God, breakneck speed. And so now I'm like, okay, we need to find some balance in this. I encircle myself with the 9 powers of the gifted ones, ecstasy of energy, pattern of destiny, protection of learning, inspiration of initiation, challenge of adversity, liberation of love, transformation of weaving, stability of guardianship, empowerment of wisdom. 9 encircling breaths of 9 gift maidens to be protection on this spring day. Vision of the earth, keeper, maker, preserver of the earth, surrounding my soul with bliss this day. I love that. So on the tarot side, we seem to be running into a theme. Today is the Ace of Cups. Emotions, maybe. Might be the theme. Okay, Divine Sisterhood. Community of the spiritual sisters and brothers of the light. Isn't that beautiful? I wrote a poem many years ago that I've noticed I just want to give it to everybody right now. Because now's the time. And it talks about brothers and sisters of light. And I found myself recently very inspired to get it out there. So I know that that's going to be something that's in something that I publish. I just know that. Everybody needs to hear it because it's true. We are all connected. A community that is based on equality, respect, and healthy boundaries and personal freedom with a mutual desire for spiritual growth and honoring of innate wisdom, great miracles occur. You are part of a community of light. At one time, it existed only in the spiritual world, yet now it is being born on earth. It is part of the destiny to help create and nurture a conscious community that empowers all of its members and is based on truth. Letting the divine feminine nourish you into new relationships, collaborations, community, and friendship is very wise. There are many souls with whom you have spiritual contracts decided upon before you were born, of those who wish to help you and those you can help. As you grow together in peace, in light, and wisdom, your light has value on its own, of course, but it is also of deep service when it is visible to others, lighting the way. Oh my God, that just triggered something. So last week, I was part of a community cacao ceremony, which was beautiful in many ways. And one of the things that kind of got bubbled up as we were going through things before I had to leave, which was 2 things. One, that we have the ability to find joy and light in the things that we do. And when we can honor that within ourselves, our light shines out. It shines out to everyone around us. And we bring that light into each moment when we find our bliss, when we find our joy. And the other side of that was a conversation about people who only want to be in the light and can't go through the journey of the shadow of the darkness. And it struck me that as somebody who teaches and somebody who has experienced so much, I don't know what other people's lives look like. I have absolutely no idea. I can only know my own. And my life has been filled with these overwhelming, momentous mountains of sadness and loss and heartbreak and grief and I have walked the gauntlet of the shadow of my own life. And in that journey, I have found the way to my place of peace. And I have found my way to the place where I can genuinely help and be encouraging and give in my space that light, because I've been through that journey. And I remember going through it. Every single moment. It feels a little removed in a certain sense because I have come to the other side. I look at it this way. There is the gauntlet, the shadow part of your life that when you're in it is deep and dark and lonely and disconnected and helpless, fearful, filled. And there's moments in that where you kind of level up within that journey. And in each leveling up, you become more aware of who you are as a spiritual entity. You become more aware of your connection to other people. And each one of those leveling ups gives you more understanding of what the journey of that is. And then there's a place, and I couldn't tell you for sure when it happened for me, but it was like I turned a corner and there was a doorway. And in the doorway was a choice. I could choose to step through the doorway, or I could choose to stand beside the door and never go through or wait. And I don't ever remember saying no to my journey. There's nothing in my journey that I remember saying no to. They're all lessons, they're all options, they're all choices, and none of them are bad. But when you walk through that it's not a last doorway, because there's always many more doorways, but that particular doorway felt like, and it was through a space of time. It wasn't like it just happened one day. It wasn't all of a sudden one day this whole thing happened. I'm using the analogy of a doorway, but maybe it was a hallway, a long hallway of a series of where the light just got lighter in the hallway. Like walking through that doorway was a lifting where I over time realized that I had journeyed through the dark time of my own life. And coming out to the other side, it doesn't mean the journey stops. It doesn't mean, oh, now I can just not be depressed. Now I can just not be struggling with things. No, that's not how this works. But there is a sense that now, no matter how dark it gets, no matter what the journey is, I now no longer have the struggle to get to that place of peace, that place of bliss, that I can truly be in a room with 15, 20 other people, and I can truly connect to my light and be that source of light. And if somebody's not ready for that light, it can be very uncomfortable when they're holding on to their darkness. And that's okay. There's no judgment at all. And there is a difference between being truly in a place of bliss, in a place of peace, and there's a difference between that and shoving the darkness and shoving the shadow in behind you and not giving it any time or space to allow yourself to journey through that. You have to journey through that to get to that place where you can truly let it go and feel the lifting that comes from letting it go. I had an experience this last fall that I still don't have really words for, but it was a moment of lifting. And it was a lifting as though some entity came through and said, oh, you figured this out, so I'm going to take this burden and I'm just going to take it away. You'll never have to carry that again. And I don't have any words to describe that. It is as though all of that dark time that I had to journey through were things that I needed the experiences, I needed the memories, I needed the lessons that came from that. But when I finally finished that part of the journey, one of my guides, or I guess, came through and went, oh, I can lift the burden of all of those experiences, the heaviness of all of that, because you have now truly done the journey. You have let it go. And there's a phrase in some of these different, in many different books on philosophy and spirituality and metaphysical spirituality, and they talk about it in quantum, some of the different quantum, higher magical type rituals, and there's a lot of references to it, and there is a lifting, and they talk about that lifting. And the only way to get there is to go through it. You can't fake it to make it. That's not how this works. You have to actually do the journey. And in all my life, I've never been accused of being falsely positive because I don't know how to fake it. I just don't. As someone over the weekend reminded me, all of my emotions are on my face for some reason. I don't know why. I just don't have a filter. Is it the autism? Maybe. Is it the ADHD? I don't know. Is it my heritage? I have no idea. I can either step out of myself and go blank, or step within myself and go blank, or I am 100% present with you in the moment. I don't seem to know how to do all three together. Well, I can do two together, but I can't do the no affect unless I've stepped out of the room energetically. So this particular card, talking about the community, we all go through individual journeys so that we can bring that journey and that experience and that support to the community. So all the things that I've experienced weren't for me. I experienced them, but I've never considered those experiences about me. They are about what I'm supposed to learn to help other people. I don't think about it about me. I never have. And it's really hard to express that in a way that doesn't sound weird, because I know that most people don't think that way, because I've been told. Okay, this is the third time. I'm going to try to finish this video. So you were guided to allow beloved Isis to help you through through building community. There can be strength in numbers. Community can help you gain the added power of a group effort to rise above old patterns and lift each other into a new pattern that is so much more real and beautiful. When you are wise and grounded enough within yourself that you don't lose yourself in a group, and instead help the group become a community of honoring individuals, your example is important, as groups can sometimes descend to the lowest energetic vibration if all the members fall into their ego rather than staying with their hearts. Yet, if members can stay with their hearts, the group can lift each other up rather than pull each other down. If you can accept all of this but still find your spiritual home here and wondering where your community is, you're not alone. They are looking too. Say yes to opportunities to meet like-minded people and let Isis guide you through circumstances. The ancient goddesses of Egypt, Hathor, Isis, Bastet, and Sekhmet, and more, are based on divine sisterhood. and pictured with similar symbols and headdresses that share the same iconography that helps us realize that although we are divine individual beings, they are connected in unique expressions greater than each other. If you are in a community and finding the group ego is becoming more powerful than the group soul, the energy of the community is pulling you down rather than lifting you up, then this oracle says to trust the divine feminine to lead you. Give it your best and most truthful expression and effort, but if this community is not a vibration that can work for you, then move on. Without judgment or fear, just move on and trust that the law of magnetism will attract yourself into a community that has the best vibration for you. I think that's a really key thing. So talking about like vibration and light and going through that darkness, that gauntlet and darkness of your life, and then coming to a place where you can release and be in that light. It doesn't mean I have a great day every day. It doesn't mean that I don't say things sometimes where somebody has to say, Red, that wasn't kind, or, Red, you shouldn't do that, or whatever. I'll take that. I own that. I own my behaviors, and I don't take it personal. I mean, you really have to try hard to offend me. And when you do, I just go away. I'm rarely going to be confrontational. Sometimes I will. It depends. But there is a sense that when you are in that place of self, not every community and group of people can honor you for who you are, and that's okay. I've been a part of groups where ego just got out of hand, and rather than pull someone down from their ego, because that's not my job, I just step away and I leave. Not because of anything other than I have to trust that when I come into a community that I bring my light with me, I bring my experiences, and I'm a teacher. And not everybody's ready to be taught. Not everybody's ready to learn. And every student I have gives me new lessons, gives me new things to learn. So we are here for each other. I am not alone in this. We all need each other. And I think where I was going with this is I had talked about the cacao group, and they're an amazing group of people. And, I've been in groups before where ceremonies were not, a sacred space was not created in a energetic way. It's just, it gets kind of loosey-goosey. And one of the things that I found about any kind of ceremony where you add a substance of any kind, whether it be alcohol or mushrooms or peyote or bearberry or ayahuasca or whatever it is, it doesn't matter what it is. And there are a lot of different herbs that can give interesting heightened senses, is that opening the energy centers in the body is an amazing transformative process. But you should always have one or two people who are not imbibing in the medicinal property of the plant to run that kind of energy, I have found. And that actually goes back to some of the teachings from when I was a child. Like, there's always someone who hasn't, because they are monitoring the energy, they are monitoring the emotions, they are not controlling the group, but guiding the energy for the ultimate outcome of wherever you're going. And that's the same for ceremonial circle. When I have done high ceremony or high magic work, or if I've gone to big group things, there's always one or two people that have become the guardians of the group to monitor the welfare of everyone there. That's just makes sense. And the energy of creating a sacred space in a ritualistic way isn't to harness a religion. It's to monitor the energy. It's to monitor the safety of everyone that's there. And there is a ownership in community that each person owns their own journey, and each person owns their participation in the journey. And if they're not ready, that it's okay to step away. And all those things are part of the complexity of growth within a community and as a community grows. And when energy gets in that place where it's kind of, I think the book puts it really well, when the ego becomes more powerful than the soul group, or the energy of the community is pulling you down, or I think, where was it? The energetic vibration of members fall into their ego rather than staying with their hearts. There is a certain amount of, I mean, I've talked about it before, the death of the ego. You know, like each circumstance that you go into, that you find yourself in that ego place, you have to kill it down a little bit to let go of judgment and the ego and allow things to just happen. And I've done so much work with groups, and I've done so much work as a teacher that I just want to teach. I just want to share. I have no ownership of any of the information I carry around in my brain pan. Not really. I just want to share it. And unfortunately, that comes across to people who are in their own shadow sometimes as me being ego-driven and know-it-all. And it's a very sad place for me to acknowledge that, because back to what I was originally saying about the shadow stuff, you know, having walked that shadow place for a really long time and walked through that into that place where all of that was lifted, and I can be in that place of light truly for other people. There is this deep, compassionate love and unconditional space that I hold for people. And I can remember a time where I would be hurt and sad, and now I'm not even hurt. I'm just in that place of grace. And I can tell you that we are all in this together. We are all needing each other. We need each other to grow. And we need each other to support each other as each person goes through whatever their dark time gauntlet is, whatever that deep gauntlet is. We need each other. And we need many different kinds of each other. We need counselors. We need therapists. We need doctors. We need medicine healers. We need medicine holders. We need teachers. We need support services. We need guardians. We need the warriors. We need the ones that are connected to all of us with their own multidimensional connection. And none of us need to do it alone. I think that's what comes through a lot for me is divine sisterhood is that community piece that we don't have to do it alone. And so much aloneness, like I heard that at the cacao thing on Friday, which was so many people feel like they're doing it alone. And there's no reason to do it alone. No reason to do it alone. We all should have each other to support each other to do it in light and love and have the support we need as we go through that dark. Because that dark, I've been through that. I truly have been through that. And I'm not going to share all those details online on YouTube. But I will tell you that I can sit in my light with joy, and I can radiate that joy now without any fake pretending at all, because I have been through that dark and I've come through to the light. And that doesn't mean I don't have bad days. It doesn't mean I don't have, last week I had a couple days where I was in a icky place for a couple days, but it didn't last. And even in the darkness, it wasn't as dark as it was before. I don't ever have to go back there, because I've done the journey, and I truly did the hard work. And I know that if I could share that with anybody to help them go through theirs, I will. Because it's important that we all know we're not alone. That's why I do daily devotions, because as I journey and share, I'm now in a place where I can share this, and I can put this journey out there and say, well, without all the details, I can put my life and my experiences as a teacher forward and say, you don't have to do it alone, because I did do it alone. I didn't do it alone, and I did do it alone, if that makes sense. I didn't have community the way community is now being built in many places, not just here. But I did it in a time and a space where there wasn't that. I had people, I had support, but it was very much a disjuncted, very dysfunctional community. But I also look at that with a great deal of compassion, because I recognize that some of those that walked that journey and some of those things that happened were very much the light bringers going through that shadow work so that they could be on the other side in this time and place. We're the ones who've been through it, and we're here to help everybody else through it. So you're not alone. And I think I've rambled enough, and I really have to get going. So I hope you all have a beautiful day. I give you light and a love and a lot of compassion. You're not alone. We are all brothers and sisters on this journey, and we need each other. Blessed be. Welcome to Daily Devotional, and my little brief clip I'm going to start inserting in all my daily devotionals, which is please hit the like button. If you're going to comment on the videos, please do. It helps the algorithm. And two, I really, really hope that you enjoy these, and these bring light and love and blessing to your life. And the more that you comment, like, subscribe, hit the little bell, share these with friends, the more it works on the algorithm, and the more that it shows me different videos that you get more out of. And I welcome that communication. Have a blessed day, and I will see you in prayer. Blessed be.